and I wanted to share with you 3 quick tips to help you dominate the digital LSAT. The June LSAT, of course, is now over, and looking ahead to July, half of test takers will get the digital format, half will get the paper and pencil format. LSAT chooses for you, and you don't get any advance notice. So given this, I thought it might be useful for me to share some advice on the digital LSAT in particular. My number one biggest piece of advice is get a tablet. The digital LSAT will be using a Microsoft Surface Go, but you don't need to use that in particular. Any old tablet would be fine. You could use a Samsung, you could use an iPad, you could use an Amazon Fire. And I actually recommend the Amazon Fire because it is, of course, a little bit more than affordable than the others at only $150 for a tablet. And of course, if you decide you don't want it after the LSAT, you can always return it to Amazon. I hear they have a pretty good return policy. The second thing I would share with you is use LSAC's familiarization tool at familiar.lsac.org. They have placed 3 prep tests in the digital format on that site, and they'll be adding more in the future in the lead up to the fall. So definitely check that out. Finally, I would say get used to using scratch paper. Of course, in the past, you've been limited to whatever the space is remaining on your test booklet, aside from the questions. Going forward, that will no longer be the case. You will now get one booklet of 14 pages, and that will be with you the whole exam. That'll be the scratch paper that you can use. So I recommend having your questions on the screen with the familiarization tool, or having them as PDFs if you have the PDFs, then using your scratch paper to the side. And of course, using a tablet or using your computer screen, whatever you need. Treat your books like they're a screen. Don't write freehand in the books the way that you might write freehand on a piece of paper normally, because on the digital LSAT you are limited to using their annotation tools. Specifically, highlighting and underlining are the 2 biggest tools people will typically use, but on the digital LSAT you can't underline physically with your pencil or pen or stylus, whatever it may be.